Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped, back from the OPTC video, and it is that time again. State of the game. My man Pappy, how you doing?
Hello. I appear on the Stump channel once every 6 months, and it is that time once again to talk some Treasure Cruise. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. So, if you guys haven't seen our previous renditions of said content, Sir Pappingtons and I like to come together and sort of evaluate where the game's at the moment, being long-term veteran players and seeing the game evolve over time. I do want to preface that this isn't us here shitting on the game. This isn't us here throwing shade at the game. This is constructively breaking down game modes and talking about banner structure and giving you guys a bit of an idea on it and how the game is at the moment and where it is, not only financially but like fun factor, I guess. So
Absolutely.
I do want to preface that initially, and if you guys haven't checked out some of the other stuff, I mean, it's pretty outdated now, I guess, because the game's evolved since then, but make sure to go check out the other episodes as well. I'll also leave Mr. Pappington's Twitter and his YouTube channel down in the comment section.
Oh, how sweet.
In the description. Well, more his Twitter, because he posts like 1,700 times a day.
Hey man, I'm trying to get paid by Twitter. That's the goal for 2024. I want to get a Twitter paycheck. That's the goal for 24.
You're on the way. So
Almost there.
Well, first of all, let's just go straight over. How are you feeling about the game right now?
Look, I told you pre-show, but last year in our previous state of the game, our Sotga, as some may call it, I called Treasure Cruise, or what was Treasure Cruise was initially colloquialized as a puzzle game. That's kind of like the premise of what the game is. Get some units together, beat a boss, you're solving a puzzle, right? Then we kind of came to this consensus that Treasure Cruise evolved from being purely a puzzle game to being a puzzle game, but you can buy the solution. Like you can, here's the problem, but if you pull these fancy new characters, we've now created a solution for you. Now I'm under this new sentiment of Treasure Cruise has now evolved or devolved, depending on how you look at it, into a game about efficiency. How can you min-max your damage? How can you beat a boss a little faster? What's the purpose of this character in your team? It's not necessarily about purchasing the next character and pulling on the next banner to get the next unit to beat the boss faster, but I think this year there's been a larger sentiment around how to do things way more efficiently, and that can come into the premise of using these really crazy combos of characters and defeating bosses in more unique ways, or for yourself, something that you really enjoy, Super Boss Kizuna. Sometimes you and I will talk and you'll teach me how to defeat a boss, and you'll say, oh, if you actually change the tap order, you do more damage. In that sense of like, we're min-maxing the game, we're in the kind of the efficiency arc of Treasure Cruise. So, and secondarily to that, I would say that motivation for the game is kind of a norm. It's kind of where it should be. I personally come from the sentiment that motivation's derived from the self. So if I'm not building myself up in terms of motivating myself to some degree, I'm not going to enjoy the game. However, I think my consensus is that my enthusiasm for the game is at an all-time low. Which isn't to say that I'm quitting or, Treasure Cruise is stopping, but it is to say that there are very large evident problems that don't seem to be being resolved to any capacity, and that kind of takes us down this path of like rinse, repeat, content cycle. There you go. In the comments section, count how many times we bring up content cycle in in this conversation, and then that's kind of where I'm at. Lack of enthusiasm, games in an efficiency state. That's Treasure Cruise for myself at the moment. But I'll throw it to you because we kind of hold two different ends of the spectrum, I suppose, in terms of Treasure Cruise. How do you feel about TC at the moment?
I think what you said about the enthusiasm to the game, I feel like that just sort of comes as an end game player though. When there's not as much to do and you're looking at sort of trying to do the end game content stuff, that enthusiasm does diminish. It's sort of about what's the word I'm looking for? Overcoming that hurdle of missing out on the latest piece of content because you're a new player or you're a mid-game player and you're just thinking, I'm not going to be able to max out this particular event right now, and that sucks, and then your enthusiasm goes down the drain. So as an end game player, I definitely hear you. I definitely feel you. I feel like honing in on one particular game mode for myself and my alliance, as you mentioned, Super Boss is our big thing. we sort of come together and say, okay, this is where we're going to invest our
time
overall
and
time and like real like nerdy or
your effort. Like a lot of effort gets put
into that game mode rather than expending it across the entire game, because then you end up burning out, losing enthusiasm, stuff like that. But the content cycle is a big concern, especially for end game players, and I think that just comes with anything in life. When you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, it does become a little bit problematic. And obviously, there's not really going to be a perfect way for them to sort of fix that.
No.
They just sort of have to find ways to cater towards needs that may not have already been met.
Correct.
What those answers look like, we might find out in today's episode. We might figure some stuff out that we don't even know right now. Because like I said, this is all coming from the dome. It's all in our heads. But at the same time, it does come from a place of understanding and of knowledge, just with, like I said, playing the game, being in the depths of the community as well. So,
absolutely.
I'm still loving the game. I still really enjoy playing it all the time. And whilst it is a puzzle that they give you the pieces to now, you don't have to use those pieces. And
correct. Yes.
I think through content creation as well, it's a lot of fun breaking down content and like solely honing in on the game. For example, PKA, which we'll touch on a little bit later, honing in on that game mode and not using the new characters, utilizing like the 2 Gear 5s that everyone's like, you should be summoning here. This is where you should be utilizing your currency to go for these units, because they're going to help you out in the next couple months, or they're going to help you out until the next big banner, which you should summon on again. That'll help you through the game. So that comes with knowledge, that comes with understanding. But yes, the enthusiasm and that sort of fear of missing out, whether it be watching other people summon that probably shouldn't summon, or doing bigger damage, or having a better PvP team, it can be a little bit deflating. But I guess like what you said as well, that motivation comes from the self as well, of sort of being able to overcome that. So speaking of characters and fear of missing out of summons, we are in the 9.5th anniversary. First of all, I do want to state that I think this is the dumb fucking idea. Half anniversary, I don't think is... Like, it's just a cash grab. But, like...
Absolutely.
That is beside the point. There has to be something going. And at the end of the day, if it's a dead period every 3 months, then that's a problem in itself. But how do you feel about banner structures and characters releasing and all that sort of stuff in a nutshell?
It's a very difficult thing to like consider, right? Because we have quite a few different ways they release characters. We have end of month, which is just however many parts there are characters, including a part. Generally, there'll be a part 1 that has all the characters, and then every other subsequent part has the remaining characters. You might see 2 parts, 3 parts, 4 parts, etc. But once the month ends, that banner disappears, and that kind of goes away. We also have obviously PvP banners, which have steps up to the 13th multi, which doesn't make a lot of sense why they've chosen the 13th multi.
And it's not guaranteed either. Like, why? Like,
no, it's just, it just exists. And then you obviously have Kizuna banners, which is 1 part, everything on it, certain units are rate boosted, etc. And then we have TM banners, which generally falls into 3 parts as well, and that kind of spreads out the TM units, etc. And then we have the Super Suga Fest structure, which we've seen a plethora of different kind of, options that they've chosen, but we are now into what we've colloquialized as the film red structure, which is essentially taking a set of units and calling that part 1, and that's being a Super Suga Fest or an anniversary exclusive character, and then copy and pasting that 2 to 3 times, which means we could sometimes get 6 to 7 Super Suga Fest characters within a month and a half or 2 month period, which is very draining in multiple facets, and that concerns me a lot. But I think overall, it comes back to a point that you mentioned earlier about, and what I kind of got towards in terms of the efficiency side of things, is that brand new units aren't necessarily as important as they once were. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I kind of fall into the sentiment of having the new unit is nice. You get more points in Blitz battle. You get content is obviously created around the new units, however, but I don't think it's as important as it once was, because we are seeing more than ever teams are being made and content is being defeated by units that aren't necessarily what is expected of the content itself. And that kind of ties back into this idea of, I think banners are an absolute cash grab in every facet of the world. But I think the real problem is the mentality of fear of missing out, or we'll just call it FOMO for now on to be easier. And I fell for it this 9.5 Annie. I did as well. I did 15 multis on part 1 that I should not have done because I had no reason to do them, and I got shafted. I mean, to be fair, I got both rare recruits, so I can't really say shafted entirely, and but I didn't get any new legends, and you have people around you.
Whitebeard versus Blackbeard, right?
Sorry, that's correct. I got that too. So like, if we were to abstract that, and that's I think the biggest part about banners, and I don't want to get into the psychological aspect of things, but my mentality switch of banners has gone from, and this is actually, I want to give first shout out of the episode. I want to give a shout out to Rioan, because that was his mentality that he kind of bestowed upon me, was like, look at what you got and not what you didn't get.
Absolutely, I couldn't have said that better.
You know, so when I go into a banner and it's 9.5 Annie, and I'm seeing, like, you know, for example, I'm seeing Stump bink out both legends in the same multi. I'm seeing Tony get, 3 copies of Shanks in 15 multis. And I'm seeing this, that, and the other. But I'm getting none of the new legends. It's very important to take that step back and be like, okay, I didn't get the new stuff, but what did I get? Okay, well, I got a bunch of rare recruits that I auto-powered up, so all my units got stronger. I got the 2 new rare recruits. That's awesome. Blitz literally starts tomorrow, and I have both rare recruits, which hopefully they'll be useful. If they're not, so be it, but they're two additional point boosters. I got a brand new legend, Whitebeard versus Blackbeard, which I'd been missing for quite some time, and annoyingly has been very useful in the last, 2 to 3 months worth of content as well.
Whitebeard especially. That Whitebeard, because of the Fuji release, was
exactly
nuts. But at the same time, you now have a unit to take down Grand Voyage. So, it is a dub in its own right.
Exactly right. So, I think that banners are shit, and we could talk about banners forever. For years, I could tell you about how we should move to a 30 gem multi-structure and still have 30 multi, so it's 900 gems. If we average 500, 600 gems, free-to-play gems per month, it means that you almost can guarantee yourself one of the new units. We could get into the semantics, but I think it's partially that, but it's also the mentality switch of being like, if I'm going to go into a banner, you have to do your best to remove the expectation that you're getting something new. Completely have to remove that. At the end of the day, this is a numbers game. All RNG. You're not guaranteed anything aside from when it literally says you're guaranteed something. So, I'm not a fan of the banners, and I think I told you pre-show, I think every new character that releases, rare recruits, free-to-play, whatever you want to call it, every new character that releases should be guaranteed to some extent. It should be guaranteed. Because it was in the past, that happened, it's happened sporadically throughout the year as well. I don't remember what the banner was, but recently we had, was it the Izo banner? Where Marco and Kiku and Usopp were all guaranteed in 4 multis on their respective parts or whatever.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
That's fantastic. We should bring that back. I don't know why that happened once and then disappeared.
I agree.
But in that kind of mentality where every character should be guaranteed, irrespective of what that character is.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we spoke about it pre-show as well. Whilst the banner structure, I've been kind of sifting through the banners that we've been talking. We've got an Uta banner up at the moment. We've got the part 1 where both the legends are on it. Then you've got the PvP banner for Shiki. You've got support Sugo Fests.
Yeah.
You've got now the multi parts of the anniversary and a bunch of different characters on said banners. But I think something to note that OPTC does that a lot of other gachas don't is you can pick up previous units on new banners. When it comes to these exclusive characters like anniversary exclusives and super sugos, I think that's your areas where you summon. I don't think saving all the time for say New Year's and anniversary is the wisest move, because you're gonna fall in that trap of fear of missing out, and you're gonna saving for that long is just not that fun. How you actually put out a tweet? How many free to play gems did the German community tally up? So
I believe in
New Year's.
Let me go find that. Stall for a bit while I find that.
Oh, good. But a lot of things that other gachas don't do is they don't put these characters back on banners. So stuff like Anniversary Luffy, Stuff like was Anniversary Luffy the only Anniversary exclusive on Part 4? Wow, that's dog shit.
And that annoyed me because that's the one that I was missing, for example. And it's like,
wasn't Zoro there?
He is, I think he is, no?
Why is he not a featured character? Okay, cool. That's odd. But if you take a look at this, so like I said to you at the start, I've been playing Pokemon Masters with the family I look after. I've played Legends, Dokkan, all of those games, and like Legends on an Ultra banner, which is a very exclusive character that comes out. The next Ultra banner won't have the last Ultra banner on that set banner. So if you skip that banner, you go, oh, okay, well, for example, Ultra Vegeta was out. If you skip that banner, you're not going to be able to pick that unit up on the next Ultra banner. You have to wait for that Ultra banner to get a rerun, whenever that may be. Pokemon Masters at the moment has a rerun of Shiny Greninja, who is like a top 3 support, and it's great. Like, it's a fantastic unit, but I would love to pull other Masters or other Super Sugos on that banner. And I don't know if just people in the community don't know about this, but that is something that I do want to give OPTC credit to, that they do bring these characters back. They are available on these banners. Obviously, Dokkan does it as well, the characters on the banners. And Dokkan can make the game, like, they make those banners super stacked. So I don't like to compare the pair too much, but I can still want to give credit where credit is due. Absolutely. Because you could pick up Odin and Toki on part 1 of this banner. Odin and Toki were literally only here like 3 months ago. Yep. But like, this unit now is not coming back until Anniversary. You're not going to see this unit, or maybe for the global anniversary actually. So what, 6 months?
They will be back. Global anniversary. So like anniversaries, the rarest form of unit is basically the global annie ones, more or less, or the anniversary ones, because you only see them. You see them 3 times a year. So like once every 4 months is when they come out.
So summoning on these banners, I don't think is a problem. I think what the issue is lately, and why everyone is feeling fatigue, is what we had our actual anniversary, then which had 3 Super Sugos. And I was just scrolling through my box with get date, how long ago that actually was. Scrolling through my box, like, it does seem like quite a while ago, but I know that it definitely was not that long ago. How anniversary's in June?
And so Japan Annie is about mid-May. So let's say. We're talking like let's say mid-May, right? So we had Luffy Yamato, Odin Toki, Rush San, and then so that was the 2 for like Annie Day. A week later we got Rush Sanji and Queen. A week after that, we got Alba and Zoro. Yep. So like, obviously that equates to 1, 2, 3 Super Sugo Fest units, 2 across regular batch
3
legends,
separate banners that they're not on together.
Yes, and that's like when you extrapolate that though, because those banners had 3 parts each, so it's 9 separate banners that have a different subset of characters on each banner. That's the predatory aspect of things. Absolutely. Especially because part 1, which I don't understand why, and I mean I get why mathematically or from here's everyone's other favorite phrase, business perspective. Like, I get why, but it's very disgusting that like the new legends have a lower rate on part 1. What is the problem with giving them the exact same rate as every other character on the banner? It should not make that much of a difference in its entirety. It doesn't make much sense. But then, for example, like less than like a week later, we had Ivankov's release on Pirate Rumble. Yep. Was it Pirate Rumble?
We had Kizuna, Dofi, and Crocodile before that, though.
But then before that, though, a week before that, we had Whitebeard versus Blackbeard and Shanks Buggy.
Yep.
And then we had Doffy Croc a week after that. 8 days later, you had Robin Koala and Black Marine Ulti. And then like 2 weeks later, you had Nami Carrot. Yep. 2 weeks after that, you had Vivian Rebecca, Shirahoshi Mancherry.
Yep.
7 days after that, you had Izo. Then another 8 or 9 days after that, you had Kawamatsu. And then a day after Kawamatsu, you had Gear 5 Momo. You had Reiju 11 days after. And you get the idea, right?
However, like, going through that list, looking at those characters,
what's actually worthwhile?
There's a very small selection that are crucial.
Yes.
Like, I would say all the anniversary characters have shown their worth. I think King, Queen, even Jack to some extent showed his worth before the anniversary. The anniversary batch, Luffy Yamato, and look, I still stand Luffy Yamato is a fantastic legend. I get the concept
me and you in the same
boat. I get we have the concept right we've had two Luffys since then that are both exclusive. I get it.
Yep.
But like that unit's still in its own right. Great summonable unit. But then you look at like what? Izo, you look at Reiju, Crocodile Dofi.
Doesn't matter.
Even Kov. Hell,
Doesn't
even
matter.
Nami Carrot. I love Nami Carrot as a unit. Don't get me wrong, but like.
Nami Carrots, whatever. Like.
Yeah, it's like you don't need
know?
these units. And did you end up finding that number?
Yes, sorry. I did. So, I'm looking at it now. So, this is according to the German forums. So, there is a gentleman on the German Treasure Cruise forums. And to date, he from January to September, and he does give you the breakdown. So, if you don't trust me, go to the German forums, and he gives you the breakdown of exactly where all the gems come from. So, these are his words, not mine. We've had roughly, so just give us some leeway, 5,841 gems from January to September. So we're averaging about 649 gems per month. If you want to do the math, let's make it straightforward. 650 gems a month to multiply by 12. That's 7.8 thousand free-to-play gems in a year. Rounded up to 8K, let's say, right? Awesome. We're at 8,000 free-to-play gems. You might think, damn, that's a lot of gems, right? Well, we have, and this is pretty exclusive, actually not really, we have almost hit we've almost hit less than 7 days per legend. What we mean by days per legend is that how many days go by without a new legend releasing. So we're at 7.068 since New Year's of 23. You want to say the more accurate number? Days per legend period, so from V1 Whitebeard onwards on global, is 12.93. So let's say 13, and let's just round that up to one legend every 2 weeks. We have 52 weeks in a year, 26, that means, a legend every 2 weeks. You're looking at what? 26 legends? That's way too small. So break that down even further. You're looking at an even crazier number where that means we've had 36 legends released from January to September. Allow that to keep going. So essentially looking at one legend per week. So 52 legends, right? Now, 52 legends, each legend on average is guaranteed at 1,500 gems. Let's give Bano the benefit of the doubt and let's say 2550, so that's 25 multis. 2550 multiplied by 52 legends. I don't know how quick your math is, but 65,000 gems. To guarantee every character.
Yeah, that is a crazy number.
Yeah.
How many of the legends are essential summons? So if we if we go back to New Year's and let's say
break it down.
You said the count was from January, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if we go from January, that was
I'll read it now. You tell me yes or no. All right. Super Tandem Whitebeard.
No.
Raybarn.
Oh, good unit, but no.
Perispero.
No.
Super Tandem Ace.
Definitely not.
Kid Luffy.
Could make a slight argument.
I would say two. I would say Raybarn, Kid Luffy. Let's give them both. Let's just be a little bit lenient, I suppose.
Well,
Super
Kid
Tandem
Luffy
Sabo.
had Sabo. Sabo was separate, but he had Ace on the same banner, right?
Yes.
So you could technically... Well, no, say if you went for their guarantee, you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So assume the max, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sabo.
Alright, we'll chuck Raybarn in there for now, but like...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because any character that is a regular legend, to me, is a no.
Yeah. So, Sabo. Super Tandem Sabo, that is.
No.
Killer.
No.
God, no. Hawkins.
Definitely
Fuck
not.
no.
God, no. Yeah,
Apu.
No.
Bonnie. V2 Bonnie. TM.
No.
Jack. V2 Jack.
No.
Luffy Yamato.
Yes.
Odin Toki.
At the time, I would say yes. For the sake of the argument, yes.
Rush Sanji.
Yes.
Super Tandem Queen.
No.
Zoro. Super Tandem Zoro.
Yes.
Alba.
Oh, maybe. Hard maybe.
Ivankov.
No.
Whitebeard vs Blackbeard.
No.
Shanks Buggy.
No.
Doff Croc.
No.
Robin Koala.
No.
Black Maria Ulti.
No.
Nami Carrot.
No.
Review Waifus.
No, definitely not.
Izo.
No. God, no.
Kawamatsu.
Hell no.
Yes, duh. Kawamatsu,
No,
go on,
definitely
man.
not.
Gear 5.
Yes.
Momo.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah, I agree. V2 Reiju.
No.
Law Kid.
Oh, yes.
That's
but
a tough one.
Yes, but it should be a no.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yes. Big Mom.
Definitely yes.
Rush Kaido.
Yes, God, yes.
Kanjuro.
No.
V2 Uta.
No. That unit's good, though. That unit's very good.
Kizaru Fuji.
No.
Nami Karina.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes,
Ein.
God, yes. Wait, what did you say? Another one?
Ein, sorry.
Ein? No, fuck no.
V2 Film Red Shanks and V2 Film Red Luffy and Katakuri Oven.
Yes to Shanks, yes to Luffy, no to Katakuri Oven.
Interesting.
So how many was that?
So what do I end up with? We said Ray Bomb was 1. We'll give Kid Luffy 2. Luffy Yamato 3. Rush Sanji 4. Super Tandem Zoro 5.
At this point, though, you're already pushing the... What,
yeah, exactly.
7,500.
Gear 5, 6. Momo 7. Law Kid 8. Big Mom 9. Rush Kaido 10. Nami Karina 11. Film Red Shanks 12. Luffy 13.
So 13, yeah. So you're well over that number, and we're not even at the end of the year.
That's 16,000 gems.
Whilst yes, you can cut it back, there still needs to be a little bit more if they are going to release this crazy amount of Sugos.
And that's just legends. There are Rumble rare recruits. There are Kizuna rare recruits. There are TM rare recruits. Like, so many good... There's actually been a very good swath of Rumble rare recruits come out this year. And I'm not a Rumble expert, but like, from what you guys talk about, a lot of Rumble rare recruits that came out this year are pretty freaking good, right? And the problem is, they're not guaranteed anywhere.
Yeah.
The Kizuna characters, the only guaranteed for a Kizuna character that you can potentially get is either the legend themselves or on the recommended step. However, the recommended step includes everything on the tavern image. So you could get the bloody random ass
so lame.
legend on the banner, or you could get the new rare recruit, or you could get the new legend. So it's kind of a mixed bag. TM, on the other hand, the only guaranteed steps are the new character steps. The problem with that is that the game does not read new character as in the ID from the box, right?
Yeah.
The game reads new character as we've released 3 rare recruits. They're all new. You can pull it 3 times. Like, doesn't matter, you know? So I think that this argument about Sugo Fest has like been drawn out to such an extensive degree, and obviously the solution in everyone's mind is just make the multis easier, or like make it less, or make the characters guaranteed. But at the end of the day, I'm not against. So you want to hear the psychopath solution to this?
Sure.
Keep the characters guaranteed at 30 multis. Do that, right? You have a couple of options here though. Make the multis 30 gems only. 30 multis, 900 gems. You get 600 gems a month. That kind of covers your ass, right? Number 2, keep the gem amount and the amount of multis the same. However, take a leaf out of Bounty Rush's book, and after every couple of multis, give the player some items.
Yeah.
So imagine if you were doing 30 multis for Gear 5, and on multi 20 you got a rush tablet.
Yeah.
Not bad, you know, not the best, but at least there's a reward for going to that kind of step.
Yeah, at that point, it's like you pulled a Sanji dude. Or
Exactly. Correct.
You know, you might be chasing Rainbow Shanks, and you get a Super Tandem tablet. You don't pull Shanks, but you can use that on Shanks.
Exactly right.
At that particular point, you could probably argue it's more valuable.
Yes.
As well.
Exactly.
I do like that idea. I do like it a lot. Like I said, Pokemon Masters actually does something similar to that, which I'm a big advocate for, especially for newer players or mid-game players that are like trying to level up fast, or they're having that fear of missing out and they want to do that. I think it's only a benefit to everyone. However, I still think, and whilst yes, we are already getting a large sum of gems, I think increasing the gem amount per month is a must. And like I think it should be substantially increased, like to like 900 gems a month, because at the same time, like you still use gems to play the game. And at the end of the day, if you're spending gems to play the game, right? Whether it's summoning units, replenishing stamina, treasure map runs, no matter what it is, PvP, stamina, you're spending your currency to do that.
Absolutely.
So, whilst we're talking summons here, particularly, there's the whole other aspect of the game that gems can be used for too.
Absolutely.
So, and then, like, discount summons, all that other stuff that people are probably throwing gems at as well. Like, that has to be taken into account as well. You do have your Gather Island. Obviously, there's your gems there. If you level it up, make sure to max out your gem tree. Definitely want to do that to sort of maximize your gem currency. But when it comes to actually playing the game, that needs to be looked at as well, not just sort of spending the gems on the shiny new toys as well. So, look, banners are never going to be perfect. At the end of the day, they're there to make the company money. And, yes, we have to remember that. But at the same time, people need to stop looking behind us. We need to keep looking in front of us and how we can make things better, not go back to the golden years of how things used to be.
Yeah.
Because that's not making it better in any reason. There's a reason it got changed. Whether that be that there's just too many Super Sugos now and they can't put them all on one particular banner that doesn't involve having every goddamn legend on the banner. But I think another thing that has to happen too is just like more exclusive tickets, like Kizuna legend tickets, and even cap them. Like, so throw out a Kizuna legend ticket, but only go up to, I don't know, say for this particular month, say Croc Dofi's just got added, you know? It's not terrible. At the end of the day, if you have a 150 Capone crew and you pull in 1,000 Capone crews on these tickets, you're just in the same boat as pulling 1,000 V1 Nekos on your regular tickets anyway.
Right.
It's the same trap, but at the same time, you're still showing players that they are tweaking things. They are giving more access to the game. They're not restricting that access behind something that you have to pay for or you have to basically spend. Even though it might be free-to-play games, you're still spending.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very true. I think that exclusive tickets is super duper valuable and need to be looked at again. I think that every single game mode, every game mode gives you a red ticket now. Period. Right?
Well, I recently did a video where I popped on my red tickets. I was like 50 of them in like a month.
Exactly, which is ridiculous, which is awesome, right?
Great for the limit break and stuff like that, sure.
Exactly, but at some point, I'm sick and tired of seeing Tesoro. The fuck off.
Actually, I wouldn't be. Tesoro's amazing. Give me your Tesoro.
If he's maxed out, it doesn't benefit.
No,
right?
you need two. Two for Grand Party, bro. Two for Grand Party.
That's right. It's a secret strat. Secret strat. But it's just like, for example, like, imagine if you were playing Rumble and you get maybe like what? I don't know the exact. I can't recall the numbers. Let's say 3 red tickets from Rumble. One of them's a Rumble ticket. You play Kizuna.
Yeah, cut out one.
Yeah, and carve it into whatever the content is.
Even if it's like ticket and give me a Pirate Festival exclusive character.
Like it's crazy how Treasure Map is the only game mode that gives you a limited ticket.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Like every game mode, one of the red tickets should be a limited ticket. One of the red tickets should be a game mode exclusive ticket, and then one of the tickets should be whatever else you want it to be, right? What's the value in saying, oh, I'm playing Kizuna and I got 3 red tickets. Oh yeah, but I pulled 3 regular batch legends. I want the opportunity to pull Kizuna legends. I want the opportunity to pull TM legends. I want the opportunity to pull other legends. Like it's not that it's common to pull a new legend off a ticket. However, for players that are just starting or players that are in like that mid-game era, the overt benefit of being able to pull a game mode based character from the game mode itself is super valuable, especially because this is particularly noticeable in Treasure Map, for example. TM legends hold their point boost for an extended period of time.
It's a big reason why I said yes to Nami Karina when we were talking earlier.
Exactly.
That unit I am now going to use every Treasure Map.
Exactly right. So now you're gonna and Kizuna, for the most part, it's a bit weird. It's not the same, but for the most part, exactly. So
it sucks because every Kizuna unit legend should be on the Kizuna banner.
Correct.
Just like Treasure Map, they actually cut out Nami and Carrot from this month's Treasure Map banner, which is a little bit concerning as well.
I think, yeah.
But nevertheless, like I said, banners are never going to be perfect, and I do want to give them a little bit of credit as well with the Zoro banner they made and the Kaido banner. They made that Kizuna based. So a lot of people, like I said, they don't like that sort of structure, but there is that silver lining there that now you can pull a Super Sugo on a Kizuna banner that has Kizuna units available. Like I was talking, like Krooby, rest in peace to one of the GOATs, but he and Sim actually have been playing the game very nonchalantly again. Not anything seriously, but they came back for Gear 5, did some summons. Krooby finally pulled a Sabo.
Yeah.
Because it was on the Kaido banner. Like, that is incredibly valuable in itself. So, having that availability is a good thing, and while separating them isn't great, you can find the silver linings there. But talking of other game modes, and talking Treasure Maps specifically...
Oh, yeah.
Big changes are coming.
Big changes.
Big changes are coming. And it's very interesting to see that they have honed in so heavily on this particular game mode. Because let's be real, we all make the joke, we love Treasure Map, but at the same time, it is the most beneficial game mode as a sole player for your account.
Absolutely.
It has one of the most limited materials that are limit break materials. And even as an endgame player, so all of you jabronis on my video where I sold Super Tandem Luffy going, oh, that's peanut stomp, you can get all those materials back in an instance. No, I can't. I have 16,000 blue tickets as of this moment. which is absurdly low, and I have 400 of each regular shard. And that's talking like end-to-end game player. Now, look, that is on me for not playing as much treasure map, right? But look, I do like to go outside and touch grass. I don't know about you. In saying that...
Hey, but this is what the new update's for, right? In theory.
Hopefully. Now, I haven't dove into the new update as much as you have. So give me like a quick crash course on what's going on.
Alright, so major thing now is that we have treasure cards. Treasure cards can be used on any run. They kind of last for like either that particular run or whatever it is. There's more semantics to it. If I get it wrong, cry in the comments. I won't read it. And essentially, all these cards do different kinds of things. So there's a steering wheel.
I'll tag you.
There's a steering wheel card that lets your ship move a fixed amount of space that doesn't consume stamina. There's a sea chart card that has the chance of raising the level, your nav level. Pretty cool. You have a slingshot, gun, and cannon card that have the chance of defeating an enemy encountered, which could be kind of crazy. And then finally, a sea cat card, which earns you points as you progress through the map. And you can store all these cards as a little inventory. You can select these cards at any point during the treasure map period, and you can use them, etc., etc. So treasure map has now, I suppose, to the same liking as PKA, although a lot of the PKA stuff hasn't provided a lot. We'll get to that. Has added another layer of strategy towards treasure map itself. There's an element of using cards. It seems that like the gun, slingshot, and cannon can instant kill mini bosses, which might speed up the runs as well. The Sea Cat card can provide you a lot more points. They've also updated how fast you move on the map. All of these updates are for the purpose of, in theory, making treasure map a bit faster. However,
sounds pretty efficient to me, bro.
Pardon?
Sounds pretty efficient.
Yeah, it is. It's all about efficiency, right? You move faster, you can get more points and get to that 10 mil. However, here's the that's the wrong word. Here's the pessimistic aspect of me. Are they going to update the point rewards?
Well, it's a bit weird with treasure map, right? They go back and forth. All of a sudden, the new legend is the 2 times booster, and then next month is another treasure map legend that's a 1.8 times booster, and then
1.9, 2.1.
Then the next month we get 3 rare recruits, and it's like 2.1, 2.05, 2, and it's like, huh? Like why?
Yeah.
I just think for finding a stable boosted list in terms of the same numbers, and sort of just going insane on a 1.2 list, like, or a 1.1. Like,
have like 50 characters. Like, who cares?
Make every single free-to-play Coliseum character a 1.1 times booster. Make anything you can farm in the game be boosted for an event. Because, like, why not?
Agree.
Like, it's such a minuscule amount, but at the same time, lots of people, when they do team building, and I'm a massive culprit of this, even, like, trying to move away from that sort of mentality, is use a unit that shines when it comes to the game. And it's a big thing what you said about efficiency, right? Building up as many points as possible. It might not be fast. It might not be in the end, it might not be the most efficient. But shiny things draw the eyes.
Yeah.
So just make a disgustingly large booster list so newer players that have access to get to the 2 million mark. At the end of the day, treasure map doesn't have to be grinded into the ground to get all the resources I just spoke about earlier that I don't have.
Yeah.
Getting 2 million and calling it a day and going and enjoying 4 days of not playing treasure map is awesome. But if you really enjoy it and you really want the materials, sit down, buckle down, grind the game mode as fast, as efficient as you want. Or if you're just having fun with it. I remember when treasure map first came out and it was treasure map Mihawk. I remember staying up until like 4 o'clock in the morning just playing treasure map. Because it was different. It was new. It was fun. And that's a big thing I do like about with this update. They've completely overhauled the way that the game mode is played. Yes, it is not like super different because it's very similar to PKA. Again, we'll touch on that in a bit. But I do like that they are making these changes and improving or trying to improve a game mode. For whatever those improvements may be, it might benefit them a little bit more, might benefit us a little bit more. It's something new. It means that we don't have to sit in the context cycle and think, okay, well, look, here comes treasure map again. I got to build my teams. I got to make them as fast as possible. I need to use booster units. Do I need to summon? Do I need the treasure map? Now this way, like I said, it brings a whole different mentality of playing this particular mode. And sure, over time, 6 months down the line, we're probably going to be doing this video again and talking about how we're stuck in this cycle of this being the same. But right now, like, this is how you want to sort of keep a 9.5-year-old game alive. Doing stuff like this, taking what you already have and making it a little bit different.
Absolutely.
I was talking to Kaido the other day. Bring back Neos. Bring back this kind of stuff. Bring back what's already in the game. and just make it a little bit different. It promotes so much more. So whilst this new treasure map update, honestly, we don't know. We haven't played it. We've just seen it. It could be dog shit. Like, if I'm being completely honest.
Absolutely horrible.
But I'm still excited because it's something new. Okay, and
absolutely.
I'm not going to sit here and gas it up and say, yeah, this is the greatest thing in the world. The treasure map's now overhauled and it's now the best game mode of the game, because Grand Party obviously is.
That's crazy.
But the fact that they're doing this, to me, it is good signs. But it's just a little bit alarming to me that they would funnel in so much into this game mode and leave something like Kizuna.
Absolutely. Which I want to point out, in that team video, they did say upcoming update contents and playability improvements for Kizuna Clash is on that list. So
playability means though, like,
I think that's a shitty translation from a Japanese word. Would be my guess.
Fair. See, the thing is with me, right? Like I said earlier, treasure map is the best way to solely increase your account. But in terms of being the most efficient and lazy player, Super Boss Kizuna is the best way to min-max the amount of rewards you get for the least amount of investment.
Absolutely.
The ranking system of your own ranking, your alliance ranking, taking down super bosses, using boxes, getting like materials, like even like as a player, like, yeah, I understand people don't clear out all the boxes, and like that's up to you. Do it how you like. But once you get to this final box, and obviously in box 7, and a big reason why a lot of my alliance, or my whole alliance, we focus on super bosses, because even if you just bink everything in this box, you're getting so much cotton candy, you're getting so much belly, you're getting so many lobsters that you can use to level up materials, and that way you don't have to just go and grind Hime turtles 24/7. You don't have to run the belly cave with the new Tesoro ship and limit break plus 6 plus Tesoro. Like, for me, this is where the value lies, and the fact is, it's shit. Like, whilst I'm gassing it up, like, this is still shit. Like, this needs to be better. Like, yes, they have increased the tablets. They've added the better tablets, hunger tablets and stuff are now there. But that was already like 6 years too late. And the fact that there's like 1,000 items in this box, whilst sure playability might need to be a little bit overhauled, that kind of comes with any content, I guess. And there's always going to be a worse Kizuna than the last. Look at the last one. But this is where, and like the rewards for actually doing it, sitting down, setting a timer every 15 minutes and doing an assist, this is where I think that what they really need to look at, because these tickets are not exactly easy to come by. I've got it up on my screen right now. I only just got to box 7. I am a clear everything in every box kind of guy. I only just got to box 7. I spent 93 tickets in box 7. I didn't use any potions. Didn't do anything like that. But the amount of tickets you get, it does need to be severely looked at.
No, I agree. I concur. I just want to jump back to TM before we zip on forward. No, you're right. What I mentioned earlier, my problem is that we're updating the gameplay. Cool, whatever. First problem, the connecting screen is going to still exist. It's still going to be a shit fest. Every time you tap that dial, until I'm proven wrong, every time you tap that dial, it's going to connect twice.
Well, go to Grand Party right now. See how long it takes you to get to the game.
It takes like a minute to actually load Grand Party's menus, let alone actually get into the game itself.
It takes 30 seconds to load the image in the background.
Like, that's already like a problem. It's a spaghetti code. Don't care. Didn't ask. Right?
I like spaghetti.
But delicious. But the other problem that I still have is what I alluded to a little earlier, is the rewards, right? Stump made a fantastic point. Treasure Map gives you really good amount of rewards if you're someone like me, where you just play the game, you sometimes go all out, you sometimes don't, you kind of cruise. You're an efficient, lazy player is kind of how I'd probably colloquialize myself, right? When you're playing in that kind of perspective, you get enough LB mats to cover your ass for God knows how long. You don't have to. You can LB plus legends at your desire, but you won't ever be caught up to like the Rizzies of the world or whatever. But you have enough blue tickets to kind of protect you, and you kind of build up your account in that regard. My problem is that if we're going to do all this gameplay stuff, we need to update the reward side of things, because then you have this imbalance of gameplay is great, rewards are shit, I don't want to play anymore. Simultaneously, it can be the other end, which can be at times can be considered like Kizuna or Grand Party or Rumble, for example, where gameplay is shit but rewards are really good. I don't want to play anymore. And it's about finding that balance, being like, I don't want them to have any more than 10 million points in rewards, but to honest to goodness truth, increase every reward by like 25%. Flat out. Flat 20% increase on everything, and it will be so much better for players. You'll walk out with so many more gems, so many more materials, so many more lobsters, etc., etc. That's just treasure map in a nutshell. It's just a matter of like, we'll have to wait and see, because I believe the next TM is what? The 14th or 15th PST?
In about 10 days.
So like, 2 weeks from now, we'll be looking at treasure map and actually having a hands-on opinion on this. But for me, it's going to be very heavily about what are the rewards that we get and how they're going to approach, like how have they made treasure map more efficient. Now, jumping into Kizuna. I'm not the biggest fan of Kizuna because it is very much scaled towards players that have summoned a lot or have done a lot, which is fair enough. You can't get mad at that aspect, right? But it's the fact that it took them God knows how long to implement the quote-unquote rarer tablets, so like the special, the orb locking and the hunger tablets into the box. But at the same time, they've removed cola from Kizuna. Yet cola's become such a more important factor. They still have this mantra of 2,000 items, but then only 5 of each tablet. Seems a bit fishy, seems a bit weird, right? It's this imbalance of my efforts aren't necessarily being rewarded as they should be. Is kind of where my head goes with Kizuna. Because I know a lot of people that, obviously we grind at Kizuna as much as we possibly can, get as many tickets as possible, do our best to progress, but then you might walk away with, let's say, 10,000 tickets, you clear the box 5 times, so you get 10 of each tablet. A tablet on average has a 1 in 5 chance of occurring. So if you get, let's say you get 20 of each tablet, only 4 of those tablets are going to bink, right? On average, mathematically. Like, like when you look at it from the numbers perspective, it's shit. It's horrific, but at the same time, Kizuna is, I think, the biggest flex for team building. It's the biggest opportunity for players to puzzle shit out.
Ironically, you're gone.
So I just want to finish off by saying, funnily enough, we're able to do 1 trillion damage in Kizuna, which is just
crazy,
obscene. You never would have expected that to occur in this kind of a game. No matter how much quote-unquote artificial difficulty they throw at us, you can still do it. And that's where I think the game shines, is the testing and the efficient. And then again, same idea, comes back to efficiency every single time. And that I think that's where Kizuna shines the most.
I think it's incredibly ironic that 10-star Kizunas, the off months, don't have Super Boss. It's probably my least favorite game mode.
Absolutely.
The 10-star
Absolutely.
Kizuna.
Absolutely.
When Super Boss comes around, it's a different story, right? Because you're doing it for the Super Boss ticket game, so you can jump into Super Boss and do those really big numbers. But nowadays, and how the big alliances do it, if you just get your 10-star to 1 trillion damage and you just start binking out 10-star runs, that
better than doing Super Boss.
That actually gives you more bonus than what the Super Boss gives you. So, whilst Super Boss, in my opinion, is still the most fun aspect of the game, and you can get the most amount of sort of coalition with your alliance and have all that fun stuff happening, I think it's so few and far between where that the 10-star is so valuable when Super Boss should be the focus, and then when it's the actual focus, everyone hates it because it's I don't even care. No one's using potions. I think I cleared maybe 3 or 4 assists over level 30 this particular Kizuna.
Oh yeah.
And at the same time, it's why bother even make level 30 plus gimmicks at that particular point? Because no one's even getting that echelons. Everyone's just doing assists just to get their hands on the skulls. And whilst an overhaul needs to be done in Kizuna, and I still think it's, like you said, it's the perfect place to do some creative team building, because boosted characters don't really exist here in terms of your drop chances. Yes, sure, you get more damage with boosted characters, but you don't need to include them. So I think that's Kizuna's best aspect. However, if you miss out on some skulls or you miss out on some items, you are then stuck in a Kizuna jail. I think someone put on your Twitter post.
Someone put it out there, yeah.
You're stuck in a prison of trying to max out all of these 6+ characters. And these skulls that you're seeing on screen, they are only available by using Kizuna insignias. The only way you can get Kizuna insignias is if you get them all from the previous boxes before. So if you're one of those people that just say, screw Kizuna insignias, I'm just going to go straight to the end, get all the boxes, and miss out on these, and then all of a sudden you take 6 months off the game and come back and you miss 6 super evolutions, and you go, crap, I've now got to farm out Kizuna insignias. Well, guess what? It's going to take you around 8 to 9 years to clear out this entire shop.
Correct.
Because not only do you need these skulls, you're going to need the character. You're going to need to go through and clear out these characters. Now, sure, all of these characters aren't super worth it. All of them aren't like be-all, end-all, like, oh my god, did you miss this character? Like, you don't have 5+ shanks, like, you're going to fail in content. No. However, the fact that it's going to take you that long to get through all this is just, like, it's unacceptable. Like, that's not okay. Now, they are doing some interesting stuff here where they are adding, 20 cost skulls? Don't understand why, like, Big Mom is 50, and then you scroll down and you see Gear 5 is 40. Don't get that. But, here it is. Onami and not Katakuri, Cracker are 20 cost skulls. This is really good. I do like this, because you do need, what is it, you need 3 skulls? Or is it 5 skulls? You still need 5 skulls
for them, yeah.
5 skulls, and then the dual units need 3, and then like
3 and
skulls.
a colored one.
Maybe that's why they're more expensive. That would make sense. This is good. I do like this. This does increase or decrease the time, I guess. For example, Onami, I wouldn't bother with an Onami skulls, but Cracker skulls, I definitely would. He's great in Grand Voyage. He's great in PvP. And I think for new players, when you see these discounted skulls, you should just pick them up. Like, that's the character you're going to 6+.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe have a look at some stuff and see how valuable that character is. Like I said, Onami, I would definitely skip. But that would be the best way to efficiently maximize your account after you've got the ones that are like the priorities, like your Rogers of the world or your Gear 5 or anything like that. So I think that's the big concern. I think if you chuck insignias into box 7, it's not going to hurt anyone. No. It's just only going to benefit new players and mid-game players. Is there anything in this shop that you can just continuously buy? You can buy, like, scrolls.
You can buy scrolls, but
like, let's be real, the endgame players got millions of these anyway. And you can buy training drinks, which, again, the endgame players got millions of. So, like, I don't see what the problem is to make them an infinite farm.
Correct.
Kind of like blue tickets in Treasure Map. Yep. So that's the big concern I have with Kizuna, is for new players just trying to even remotely finish out this particular shop.
I think I think Kizuna gameplay is fine, although it's very repetitive. I think that I'm very curious to see what their envisionment of quote unquote improving the playability of Kizuna is. I think there was a I talked about it in a video of mine, but there was a tweet that a Japanese player made. I believe it was Kente. He made a tweet about what kind of playability features should be improved in Kizuna itself. And it was really interesting because I didn't think of these at the time, but he said there should be push notifications when you're rescued, when you can rescue someone, or when the super boss is defeated. That'd be actually really sick to have push notifications for that kind of stuff. And then obviously the second point, which I think has been asked for a while, is dedicated team slots for Kizuna.
Yes, 100%.
Well. Like, those two are fantastic updates that don't necessarily add more gems or add, but that's quality of life stuff that should exist. Imagine, like, how much cooler it would be to get a push notification that, hey, you can go assist someone. Bang.
Yeah, or you're ready to assist. That ready to assist symbol. Just put that on the screen.
Done, It'd be sick as, right? And then I think the other part for me is that Kizuna's already fundamentally flawed because of the structure that it approaches, where it's 3 bosses, and, the 1 versus all and the suicide strat are so very potent. But I think the way you kind of make Kizuna more desirable is, again, that balancing act of gameplay bad, but rewards good versus gameplay good, rewards bad. Kizuna kind of has gameplay kind of bad, rewards kind of bad. It's this weird, like, not good balance of the two items there.
Yeah.
But imagine if Box 7 had a guaranteed gold tablet, but only on the first rotation of Box 7.
Yeah.
Or if you don't want to have infinite insignias, put 50 insignias in Box 7 on the first rotation and then replace them with Berry. Or whatever it is, right? So create this larger incentive that, because we don't get gold tablets, right? They don't exist at the moment. They're such a rare item in the game. If you made every single Kizuna at Box 7 have a guaranteed gold tablet that rotated between Tandem, Final Tap, and Rush, would not every single player invest more time and effort in Kizuna to get that gold tablet, therefore upping KPIs, therefore potentially upping how much people pull on Kizuna banners, therefore people spending more time in the menus, in the assist menus, in the gameplay themselves? Will that not be the case? And at what problem? We have upwards of 20 to 30 Final Tap, Tandem, Rush characters at this point now, including rare recruits, including free-to-play characters, that giving one tablet per month, so to get one of each requires a minimum of 3 months of play? Is that not a fair trade-off? That's the kind of stuff that needs to be considered at this point now.
It'd be 15 months to get one, or no, 12 months to get one character done of each type.
Exactly.
So you'd max 3 characters for free in a year.
Which is very, very fair.
Well, seeing as we would, like, about 17 more would be released in that
by the time
year,
you do it,
that's pretty fair.
Yeah. Like, and that's kind of where my head goes with Kizuna. I think Super Boss Kizuna, I mean, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of, Trader Cruise in general, I suppose. But, like, I'm not the biggest fan of Kizuna because it's kind of mind-numbing. But when I find teams that I'm comfortable with, I just enjoy the flow state of, like, storing up tokens and just grinding out. So, like, sometimes I go to the gym and I'll hop on the elliptical and I'll just have, like, 300 tokens, and then I'll just go play Kizuna for, like, an X amount of time straight. It's just something that you can just flow state it. It doesn't require a lot of, like, attentiveness. Obviously, when it comes to Super Boss, it's a different story. You have to do more finicky, like, tap this character only this much, etc., etc., etc. I think that's where the game shines a lot, because it's really cool seeing how far players can push the game to its limits.
Absolutely.
In terms of what teams they're building, run this friend captain instead. It's more, I think, Stump always helps me when it comes to teams for Kizuna, or teams for most things, actually. And it's always really cool when, naturally, I don't have the same kind of, level of characters as Stump has himself. However, it's cool him and I min-maxing a team that he's built to kind of benefit me, because my box may be less. So, for example, my Alba might be higher level than his one, hypothetically. So, okay, maybe we tap with him on the 5th tap rather than the 3rd tap. Oh, that actually did more damage. Oh, okay, cool. That's where Trader Cruise shines.
That's what I was gonna say as well. Like, when you get together with your alliance and you go, all right, cool. Well, this is the biggest damage team that I can build, and then someone's like, my super tandem's only level 3. Like, what do you reckon? And then you go, all right, well, don't use that super tandem. Use this super tandem, and then change this unit. And they're like, yeah, cool. And the damage will skew. It might do more. It might do less. But at the same time, it's what they're doing, and then everyone's sort of helping each other. And you're like, the way the team building multiplex like expands when it comes to Kizuna is just Super Boss Kizuna in particular. It's so much fun, and because there's you got your 3 Super Bosses, then your 3 10 stars, then you're doing assists, and then the way the game evolves over those 5 days, you're kind of like, all right, let's put together teams just to try and bink out like a 1-team versus all, bink out your first 60, 70, 80, 90 levels. Then we're looking at doing, all right, what big damage teams can we build for assists, so that way we're maximizing our tokens, and then how we like building teams for Super Boss, and where people can sort of, all right, I can bink 2 runs, someone clean up, and then someone has the perfect damage for that, and all right, you're doing more damage against Int, so you focus on Int, and then you have like this nice little conglomerate rotation. That's where I find Super Boss is more fun. Not even really the content per se, but what it does to the community, and what it does to like your alliance when you have like good homies. But like what it does in that regard is what I find the most stimulating, the most enjoyable when it comes to OPTC.
Absolutely.
And that's why again I prioritize it so heavily compared to other areas. But at the same time, I can sit here and say it's not perfect.
Correct.
Like
There's a lot way for it to go.
The 10 star be more valuable in Super Boss is a huge problem to me. Like, it's just...
Yes. No,
it takes away that aspect solely, but it does obviously promote it in the sense of, hey guys, I need you to assist me because that way I'm min-maxing my tokens, because they are also gated by a very limited resource being the potions.
Yeah.
And look, I think they're quite generous with potions, to be honest.
Yep.
Nevertheless, we get 6 before every Super Boss?
Pretty much, yeah.
6 before every Super Boss, which is quite a good amount.
About 300 tokens, more or less. 300 tokens.
So,
15 levels for free, pretty much, which is not bad. Plus Nat Stam, you get between, I think it's like 50 to 60 levels potentially for free, which actually is pretty decent, all things considered, for free.
Yeah, definitely.
I actually, the more I think about it now, the more I realize that I think regular Kizuna might be the worst game mode.
I honestly think so. I think regular 10-star, like the one that we just had for Zeph, I talk about it with Itachi in my lines all the time. I honestly think that 10-star Kizuna, like just the regular non-Super Boss version,
it might be the worst game mode in the game.
It's grueling, it's grindy. You have to schedule it because you don't want to use potions. You want to make sure you get those skulls. It's just it's not a fun time. Like, it's not.
No.
Like, whilst cool, team building's nice, but you build a one team versus all and you just flow with it. And it takes away all that aspect. It becomes more of a chore than the actual gameplay.
Absolutely.
It's very interesting to see how, in my opinion, my favorite game mode can also be my least favorite at the same time.
My least favorite, right? Yeah, so, I agree.
But look, that's because hopefully the improvements come through and it does something for the game.
Yes.
In that regard. But as for like new game modes and talking about new things, we have Pirate King Adventures. Now, Pirate King Adventures has to honestly be... actually, no, Grand Voyage has to be. I was about to say Pirate King Adventures has to be probably one of the most controversial game modes to come of OPTC, but no.
I think it is.
Grand Voyage.
I think Grand Voyage now is the consensus. It's stupid. It's dumb. I think PKA is, you either love it or you hate it.
I'm just cool with it. I'm just.
It exists for me.
Exists.
It exists. That's like, it exists.
It's just rewards that are there that we didn't have before, and I feel the same way about Grand Party. It's just something that we had that wasn't there. However, the difference between PK and Grand Party is that this replaced something, and that's always been my problem with this.
Yeah,
is this replaced something?
Yes.
What I do like about PKA is that the final boss kind of really doesn't mean anything once you hit 150.
means jack shit.
You get to 150, and PK is another good place to sort of build out your team, like to do like some good team building, because once you do get to 150, you're all good. As for your mini bosses, you just jump in and you just chuck on auto and you just get your turtles that way. And honestly, getting 500 turtles is not hard. It is incredibly easy, even without a boosted list. Like you can run double Marco with just your highest boosters, and easily get the 500 turtles within like 7 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without using meat either. So I think a lot of people were stressing about that. And I think whilst it was a problem earlier of gating only 3 stamina, I think it became a bit more of a blessing because this game mode just was never really fun to play.
It's draining.
It is so draining.
Kizuna. PK is incredibly draining because you have the map movement, because you have to make the selections of the items, because you have to hop into the menu. When you hop into, I get to the boss, so I have to select the team. So I have to select the level, then I have to select the boss, then I have to select the friend cap, then I have to get into the quest, then I have to hit order, I have to wait for order to complete, and then after order's complete, I have to tap 3 more times to go to the.
I understand why they do it, right? It turns a 40 stamina quest from one click into a whole bunch more, and it pre-runs a whole bunch. It just makes the app look better.
Yeah.
I think the same issues arise with PK since we last spoke about it. Like, it shouldn't be about turtles; it should be about cola, and then the turtle event should still exist.
Absolutely.
Yes. Cola should still be in Kizuna and stuff like that.
Yes.
But I think something we didn't touch on was this ticket exchange shop.
The
ticket exchange shop is starting to become a bit of a Kizuna jail.
Yeah.
It's very early days, but like, if you have a look at this Kizuna, like this PKA shop, there's a lot of characters in here now.
Yep, there's a lot of characters. They're adding in more and more characters as time goes on. And the problem with that is that they've removed content. Like, all those invasion characters, you can't get the invasion anymore. You have to purchase it from the shop. Why? Or what was the point of having this system when the Recollection Archive existed for previous blitzes, for example? Why? And this is the problem, is that you're taking away content for a more a worse way to kind of approach things. And it is a bit of a jail, and especially because the biggest item in the game right now, bloody Super Cola, is impossible to get. You get a maximum of like, what is it, 10 per month at
You get
maximum?
3 from the shop if you buy it, and then you get 7, so you get 10.
Exactly. So like, I'm all well and good, and you know, privileged because I don't need these characters, and thankfully I can go buy them if I need them.
Yeah, but we do. As an endgame player, you do, like Nami, Usopp, Chopper, Frankie, Brook,
Hey, get playing.
Luffy, they're all
playing,
gated
pussy
behind
boy.
this for endgame players. But then for new players, if you are just starting the game today,
Yeah, they actually
right?
doing alright. Actually,
there is 40 characters in here
it's
to max.
40
Now, if you
characters,
click
so
on something
many.
like Drake, he costs 20 tickets for one copy.
You need a minimum of, what is it, 10 of him?
If you wanna max this character out, you need 10 copies. That's 200 tickets right there. I've only got 440. I don't know about you. I've only got
I'm good about that
440. I buy
Yeah,
the
I'm good
gems
about
though.
that
I buy the super collar because, like, again, we're privileged. We don't need these characters.
Yeah.
But then you also have the limit break materials that they had too.
Yeah.
So this is going to become a monster of
Absolutely.
a jail. So what I want to touch on with PK, because there's not really too much to say about it.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Is I really hope they do what they're doing with Treasure Map and actually expand on this game mode, because this game mode is built up around the final batch unit, the final month batch unit.
Yep.
But what I do like about the game mode is no one gives a fuck about the final month batch unit when they
No, exactly
not.
not.
No one cares. Like, the first thing I did on this one was I didn't even look at Shanks and Luffy. I just went straight to Gear 5. I was like, I'm using Gear 5. Like, he's boosted, he's getting cooldowns. Why would I not use this unit? He's the best unit, like one of the best units in the game.
Yeah.
So that's what I do like about it. They don't punish you for not having the legend, whilst the point event kind of did. Like, the point event was a little bit more challenging to do because you were restricted to one fight to get your turtles. So you basically had to bring a friend captain. Otherwise, you were getting very minimal turtles. Where with this, you can actually farm EXP really easily.
Yeah.
You can build up your turtles really, really fast, which is great. And it's free stamina. It has its own stamina system. So whilst, like I said, PK is not amazing, I do want to give him credit for that sort of regard.
Absolutely.
Because if you can kind of just auto mode it and just sort of mind numb it, especially when you hit 150 and you just don't even fight the final boss, it's like, cool, I'm just getting some daily rewards.
2 points. Here you go. I'll solve the reward problem. 3, 2, 1. Add a 0 at the end of every reward item. Done.
Yeah.
Problem solved. 10 tickets. Oh wow, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
Or like, you know, instead of 16 collar, 160 collar. Fuck, not bad. You know, or like instead of 20. This is like, obviously you can't add a 0 to everything. You can't give a player 20 he-made totals, right?
No.
But like that whole
for
premise of
Cola
like,
and the tickets, that's fine.
absolutely, add a 0 to the end of them, and even for like the daimyo turtles, give us 20. They're fucking 100k XP or whatever it is, you know. So like, not that deep. Just fucking give us things to play the game. But the other point is that you could do what I do: get to 150, do your turtles, do your power rumbles, then don't touch PKA until next month. Like it's kind of good in that sense because you're not forced to keep playing it. And obviously, but you punish yourself by that. Hey, guess what? I don't care.
But sorry, go on. Let me cut you off.
I was going to finish that thought. If you want to play efficiently, go farm he-made turtles. It's actually the way more efficient way to get EXP for your character.
As an endgame privileged player, that is like way faster. It's way better. You just go do your 15 stam, just hit your auto button and call it a day. However, for newer players that don't have all these characters that we spoke about,
PK is amazing.
You pretty much have to do it. Like
PK is amazing.
You got to do the mini boss fights. Leave it on like level 1. Leave your mini bosses on level 1.
You know, I'm gonna start doing that. I think I've given up with the whole 59.
Yeah, no, I this season I did too. I'm mine are on like 30 or something like that. I think I started
I'm gonna start doing that from now on.
Yeah, because I did want to sort of contrast the EXP gains. The EXP is exactly the same.
Interesting.
Exactly the same, which is wild. Even on the final boss as well.
That's crazy.
Level 150, level 20 is exactly the same EXP. That's so dumb.
That's dumb. That's a big dumb play.
The rate of drops is almost identical. I have not noticed a difference.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not noticing more cola. I'm not noticing more, like, weaker turtles. He-made turtles are just as hard to find. Like, like, I just don't understand how that's not scaled with the level. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Absolutely. Which is a fundamental flaw. But we have seen them slightly update PKA in the last couple months anyway. So potentially, hopefully, I would presume this does get this is a continuous project. It's a live thing. Like it continues to get updated because it should in those cases. You should get more XP the higher level you fight. You should get better drops the higher level. You should have the chance to drop Super Cola more often than the higher level your boss. Like there should be larger factors to incentivize me to level up my boss's levels to get better drops. Instead of what I'm going to do from next month is literally keep my mini bosses at the lowest level possible and then just scale up my final boss to 150, get the rewards, 2 thumbs up, we're out of there, you know? So, like...
I've noticed a huge difference, right? By having the mini bosses at a low level, autoing them in the map is so much faster.
Oh, way faster. Less debuffs, less HP.
So, the grueling draining aspect, it starts to diminish because you don't have to worry about, oh, it's sick, I'm just going to hit auto while I have to stall out 2 turns of damage reduction because those debuffs don't exist. They're no normal attacks only. Like, it's just... Yeah. It's all free. You just run Momo.
Momo and go. Momo and go.
Yeah, pretty much. Right. So,
yeah, but isn't it funny how this same problem comes? Not a problem, but the same thing comes back to efficiency.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, and I'm glad you brought it up at the start because efficiency is like the perfect word to use when it comes to playing any gacha that's over 5 years, right? You got to try and find an efficient way to maximize your game so that way you can still maximize your fun in clearing content and stuff like that. But moving from PKA, the game mode that should have been revolved around Cola, introduced that funny new thing called Super Cola. And leveling up ships. And I just want to say, man, did they move fast with ships.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do this with Limit Break? Or Super Evolutions? Or
I'm in such a weird mentality with it because at one point I'm like, you're going too fast, we don't have the resources to keep up. But on the contrary, I'm like, maybe it's a good thing that they're kind of maxing everything out. So then, like, once everything's maxed out, you're like, okay, great. There's no more things that are coming out. I can just now go through and get everything done. Yeah, and then by the time the next one comes out, you may have excess resources to go and max that new thing out as well.
So looking at the ships, we have the Whale Shark ship. I'm not going to include the anniversary ships. Whale Shark, Nostra Costello, Victoria Punk, the Burning Going Merry.
Yep.
The Shark Superb.
Yeah. Oh.
Did we not have a 7th anniversary ship?
I think that they reboosted a ship, if I remember correctly. Or the Burning Merry might have been a boosted ship as well.
Yeah.
At some point.
The Koi Fish. The Thousand Sunny Flying Model.
Yep.
That's the 5th anniversary. Laboon.
Yep.
The Bees ship.
Yep.
What's the Zunesha?
Yep.
Didn't Flying Dutchman get an upgrade?
No.
Flying Dutchman. The Kizaru ship.
Yep.
The Polar Tang. The Mr. Luffy Go.
Yep.
The Burning Moby Dick.
Yep.
And the Striker. And the Black Cat. So it's like 3 more rounds of ships, and then they're done.
Which is actually like good and bad. It's like it's the dichotomy of both, because I think that there's obviously the FOMO aspect, and depending on how ships are going to be required in content. But what I've realized more, because I was in that camp of being like, oh no, don't do this. We're going to know better. You don't need the ships. You just don't. Only for Grand Voyage, which I think is this is something that Todd kind of put me on, was just like, just upgrade. I mean, I don't do Grand Voyage anyway, but for people that keep up with it, just upgrade the ship that Grand Voyage requires.
Pretty much. And
then you're kind of set for time, right?
Or go back and upgrade a ship that helps you in a Grand Voyage that you're struggling to complete.
Exactly right. Correct.
Which ship was it? Any ship that can remove 1 turn of attack down, so like the Cesaro ship or the dinghy, I believe.
I think Thousand Sunny might do it.
Thousand Sunny, yeah. Any ship that can remove 1 turn of attack down basically gave us the second team.
Opens the doors. Yeah.
For Arlong Park.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy that a ship did that. Like that was because of a ship.
Absolutely.
So I think that's the big benefit of these ships. However, the problem with the ships is the amount of cola you have to spend to try and get this ship gacha to max. Now, I don't know if you guys ever saw or heard about my infamous red, the crows, the very first ship that I got maxed. And if I thought this is what it was going to be like every time I did a ship, it took me over 100,000 regular cola.
Yeah, that's too much.
That's absurd. Now, I recently just did the Giltosaurus ship. It took me 70,000.
I did the dinghy. That was my first ever ship. It took me 4,000.
Yeah, well, like Magello, I did the Magello, the first pity.
Exactly. So like you have this incredibly large spectrum of how much coal it's going to take, but it's all they had to do was, instead of me rolling 5 times and having to select all 3 attack, recovery, and HP, let me select one of them, the one that I want to keep. That way, there is an incentive for me to keep rolling to get higher numbers. Because God forbid, obviously the law of large numbers says that it will happen one day, but we will never see a moment where you get all 5 stars, all 150. It won't happen.
No way.
You know, and that's the problem, is that they've added in this really cool mechanic and idea, but you have to re-roll all 3 stats and you get 5 chances, rather than just somebody say, oh, I got 5-star in recovery on this one, let me keep that and let me roll the other 2. Oh, I got 5-star, okay, and then doing it individual re-rolls as opposed to all of them. That's the only change they need to do. Otherwise, it's fine. It's not perfect, which is okay, it doesn't need to be, but the only change was they had to have the option to lock in the one you're rolling, and that's it. And it would have actually been a pretty decent system.
Yeah, so like I have like my Grantosaur has 144 attack, which is just insanely good.
Yeah.
138 HP as well.
Yeah.
So, and then 125 recovery, which is like that is a disgustingly good roll.
Absolutely.
So like if you go down to my Magello, it's 122, 125, 131.
Which is pretty average.
Yeah, German ship 130, 123, 123.
Yep.
123, 130, 126. So like, even getting that was just wild. And obviously you're gonna have that RNG where you bink it and you get like mad luck. But the fact that I just can't lock in this 144 and then just like roll and then possibly get say 140 on HP and then 135 and then lock that in, it doesn't make any sense to me.
There's a great example for me. So my dinghy's 122, 122, 130. I just did the free roll. The HP on the bottom one there is 125. So 3 more than the current HP that I have. However, the attack is 22 and the recovery is 37. Why can't I just select that 1 HP roll and put it instead of the one that I currently have? Or instead of having a selection system, just if I roll a better number, it automatically upgrades to that number. So like, if I roll a 125 and I have a 122, upgrade to 125. Then you'll have these players that will eventually get 148, 149, 150. You will have it because and in that case, you'd actually have to spend probably more cola to get to that number because you're gonna be re-rolling for God knows how long. But there, obviously, as with everything, there are multiple ways to approach the problem. The way they've approached the problem just isn't as good as it could have been.
I think it's spending cola or even spending super cola on a stat to increase it is definitely a play they should look at moving forward. If you spend, say, 1 super cola to increase 1 stat by 2, whilst right now seems absurd, eventually super cola is going to become, it's say you max out every ship in the game.
Plentiful.
And they don't release any more ships. It's going to become another item that just sits there, collects dust, you're not using anymore.
Yeah.
So why not implement it in a way that you spend 1 super cola to increase your level by 2? And then 135 now becomes 137.
Correct.
And then you just spend items. You don't have to keep re-rolling spending cola because you might be spending cola on other ships to just re-roll that.
Mate,
you can then, or even make it an absurd amount. Make it 10,000. 10,000 cola to increase 10 levels, like 1,000 per level. Or something
exactly.
Like
make
that.
it 1,000 for +1 would be fair, in my opinion, and that's pushing it.
Yeah.
1,000 cola for a level in PKA from Chopper Man missions. What did we say it was? It's like 2,500, 3,000 cola potentially get dropped from Chopper Man missions.
I'd check.
At
I'm
most.
I'm rolling. I'm ship gutchering.
he's in the mines. He's in the mines. But it's like
I got my I got my Doflamingo ship, and he's not 5 stars. So I thought, while we're doing it,
no, might as well.
chatting.
That's a good use of it. But like even plus 1,000 collar get +1, mate. I would spend easily. So what is it? 121 is 5-star, correct?
Yes, because the amount of times I rolled that stupid Grand Sora ship, and I got like
120.
135, 144, 120, and it was not counting. I was like, I want to throw my phone out the window.
So like 19 level, no, it would be more. Sorry, 29 levels get to 150, 29,000 collar. Seems pretty fair. I wouldn't deny that. Imagine you have to do that 3 times.
Yeah, and
so at maximum you have to spend what 90,000 collar. So basically your whole stack.
But this system would only work when you have the 5-star. That's the thing.
Yes,
right?
I agree with that.
You can only cap up to what that star gets. So you still have to roll to the point where you get the stars, and then you can level it up from there. So that's
and even
the system runs.
You could even call it like the Mary's Secret Service or some shit like that, and have it 3 times a day if you want to limit it.
Gate it behind
3 uses per day, so you can only level up a ship +3 per day, or you can only level up any ship +3. Like 3 times a day, or whatever it is, right? Like, gated behind away, but give the players the opportunity at the bare minimum to get that ship to the maximum. Because at the end of the day, Treasure Cruise is all about maxing shit. Maxing a character from farming it. Getting a character to 150. Getting a character to Limit Break expansion. Getting 600 candy, which segues us really nicely into Rumble and Grand Party, to say the least, right? Well, I mean, you're the Rumble guy at this point in time. How do you feel about Rumble and then the introduction of Grand Party as the grand scheme of things?
Well, Grand Party's the best game mode of the game.
Alright, video's over. Video's over. Nice.
We gotta go home now, guys. Stump's gone crazy.
Right.
Now, honestly, look, I speaking genuinely, I actually really do like Grand Party.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I do hear where you are. I hear you typing in the comment section. I can hear you. The problems with Grand Party still arise, but as a community, we always find a way around that. We always find some way to make it more beneficial for ourselves. And we've pretty much done that by this new strat of changing your leader after you win.
Yeah.
However, Grand Party never used to be there, right? It hasn't replaced anything.
That's the best part about it.
It's come in and it's given you an opportunity to get 50 free gems.
Yes.
It's given you something extra to do. And yes, you are punished if you miss out on that first day, which that's my big problem. I think just adding an extra half day.
Add 3 more matches.
Yeah,
just add 3 more matches.
3 more matches, but keep the 15 wins.
Yes, that's all they need to do. Or reduce it to 12 wins like they did that one time, which I think was the best Grand Party season ever, was having the rewards maxed out at 12, and then having the 12th reward be like 40 gems or some obscene number. Have it be like, the crazy amount. But look, not to cut you off, which I have anyway.
No, you're good.
Grand Party's fine. I don't like it. I don't hate it. I suck at it. I lose all the time. But it's one of those things where you're like, oh, that sucks. Okay, moving on. Like, oh, I missed out on 20 gems. Big deal, right? Like, I guess privilege, I suppose, because I'm good at saving. 20 gems isn't the end-all be-all for myself. However, for a lot of people, I can assure that a lot of people are going to be like, oh my god, 20 gems is an obscene number, blah, 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 right? But we just did the math for you. You need, what was it, over 100,000 gems a year to get all the characters? Like, 20 gems, the grand scheme of things, isn't doing much. But,
absolutely. But I think it's just more like actually enjoying the play, right?
Correct.
I really enjoy PvP and Pyre Rumble as well. And yes, it is a very pay-to-win game mode.
It is.
It's a very, rewarding for grinding game mode. A lot of investing in characters for myself and my alliance is Super Boss, because you can do more damage, but PvP because the stats actually matter.
Super Rumble can get you so much rewards though.
Super Rumble is a free gem.
It's free like 30 gems a month. Free profit as well.
So honestly, so is Exhibition though. Like Exhibition is still free. Like it's free gems as well. That's something we didn't touch on in Treasure Map too, though. If you actually do the grand line strat.
No. I'm not letting that thought finish.
Well, look, if you're looking for gem gains, like
a bit of gem profit.
If you're looking for gem profit, actually playing PvP championship is profitable, and you don't have to spend gems on blocks to get there. Yes, it does take some dedication. Yes, it does take actually being online as soon as that that ticker clocks over and the new day starts. You
Yep.
do your matches and you get a higher rank.
Yep.
You just get more points. You sit at a higher rank and you can easily sit in the top 5,000. And yes, it does take a few gems and understanding the game mode to actually profit in championship, but exhibition can still profit you gems as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
while Super Power Rumble being around consecutively, people will get upset about it. It's like, oh, now here we go again. It's more rewards. It's more stuff for your account for something that's free. Like the Grand Party fights every day, it doesn't cost you anything. It's
No.
a
little bit of time,
free
you get some
stamina.
rewards out of it. You get some bounty as well.
Yeah, and if you don't want to do it, just don't do it. Like it's just
Minimum 9 wins. That's all we ask for.
Well, yeah, that's
9
it. So,
wins.
and I say it every season. If you get to 9 wins, be
You've
very, very
won.
happy. It's very.
exactly.
It is, and yes, this is coming from a privileged point of view. Getting to 9 wins with a little bit of strategy is incredibly easy. I showcased it on my
A fresh account, right? Yep, correct.
Now that is coming from a mind of understanding the game, and I do understand that point of view. And I've been helping. Shout out to Boss Eos, one of the boys I look after. He was playing around Gear 5, and he was getting 10, 11 wins. And he would just send me a screenshot. Like, I would just show him how to use the team. He'd send me a screenshot, and he'd be like, who do I fight? I'd be like, fight the top one, use the burst here. And he would do it. And he's 15.
Better than me, man. Jesus Christ.
So, like,
step my game up.
So, he got to Soro, 6+. Like, you can do it. And yes, it does take
absolutely.
some connections. It does take some understanding. And I do hear you, and I understand that. But be happy with what you said earlier. Shout out to Rio Gem again. Be happy with what you have, not what you missed out on. But I definitely feel you. Like, I have missed the 15 wins a couple of times, and they've been on me. Like, I've made stupid mistakes playing the game. I remember doing Grand Party drunk. That was hilarious. But it burns and it stings. But
Absolutely.
guess what? In 2 days' time, it's gonna be in the back of your mind. It's gonna be
You have
gone.
no time.
It's gone.
You have no time to think about it. Like, you gotta go on.
All of a sudden, you've got Super Boss or you've got Treasure Map to think about or something like that. And that's the beauty of the game. It just, you need to keep moving forward. You just keep moving forward.
Yeah. No, absolutely correct. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, correct, right? And, like, I think Grand Party, like, there's not much else to touch on Grand Party. I think everyone's in the same consensus. Like, if we were to fix one thing about Grand Party, it would be adding an additional 3 matches. So there's not much pressure. So if you lose, so for example, myself, I was telling stuff earlier, for some reason, I always lose on day 3. I don't know why, but I just lose on day 3 so consistent. Then day 4 is piss easy. Day 5 is like, 50-50, but day 3, I'm trash, right? For some reason. But if I had the leeway to lose on day 3 and lose on day 4 and lose on day 5, but still get 15 wins out of a total of 18 chances, pretty good. Or 12 wins from 15. Like, 12 wins max from 15 total matches. Like, giving leeway is important, and that's what they don't provide you in Grand Party, and that creates the biggest problem. I want to touch on Rumble. Your gems that you invest in Rumble go to the Rumble tickets that allow you to upgrade your island anyway.
And most of the time, you get those gems back.
Exactly. So it's not a sunk cost.
No.
There is benefit to you spending those gems. So if you spend 30 gems during Super Pirate Rumble, this isn't Papi certified, but I can almost guarantee you will break even, if not profit, from spending 30 gems in Super Rumble.
For super sweaty seasons, you might fall short by 5.
Correct. But on the consistent Super Rumbles, just the ones that randomly appear, you will most likely profit from spending 30 gems on Rumble. And furthermore, if the average Rumble match may give you between 21 to 27 tickets, let's say 24 tickets, 30 gems is 90 matches, round that up to 100, let's just say for brevity's sake, 2,400 Rumble tickets, right? Not bad. Not good. Not bad, and it lets you then progress your island a little further every single time. Candy being one of the most important factors as well, especially particularly attack candy, do more damage, very cool, very nice.
Even the gem tree though, free gems.
Exactly, gem tree is super important. The stamina tree is super important. Like, there are ways to progress your account, and this kind of comes back to our first conversation of gems in Treasure Cruise are so important. And when you look at free-to-play gems, it isn't just about being like,
or we get 500 free-to-play gems per month, I can go do 10 summons, or 10 multis, sorry. But it's about, okay, I get 500 gems per month. If I spend 30 gems on Rumble, I can spend 10 gems on TM. I can do a couple discounts here and there. Like, if that doubled to 1,000 a month, oh my god.
Well,
like,
that's the thing, right? It's all about pulling a character, but you still need to get that character to a potential level to actually use the character in content.
Exactly right. And then so let's say you pull a new legend, what do you have to do? I have to play TM for LB mats. First point.
Even as a new player, getting tomes, like having access to tomes for all your characters is challenging.
Tomes from Kizuna.
Potions, your training potions.
Exactly, gotta play more TM.
So all of that stuff does come into consideration as well, especially for your new fresh players. That is definitely something to note with just your regular gem counts. But yeah, like Grand Party, for those of you guys that don't know, I just want to quickly touch on this strategy because I got it up in front of me. Once you've done your matches and you've won, don't change your teams, the team that you used. Just edit your leader to a Pirate Festival rare recruit, to any rare recruit that you like. That way, other people will find your teams, and that way you don't have to fight Gear 5 bursts. It's just, it's a lot more fun for people. You're actually having fun, and you're not, like, sweating on the edge of your seat.
Still a challenge.
Honestly, it still is a challenge, because, like, you come up against the teams that the Gear 5 teams have, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're still facing good units. Like, I versed Among today, who's in the top alliance, who's got 150 Roger Whitebeards and Luffy Yamatos, and, like, that comes in with the 50 seconds. I was still sweating without a leader. I was like, holy crap, I could literally lose here. And I was like, if I lose without a goddamn leader... My second team did lose to Among. Like, my second team lost. There's no burst. But, like, that was strategic. But at the same time, it's still crazy.
There's still an element of difficulty, but it's not like, oh, okay, this guy has a level limit break 5, gear 5, that's going to do, like, 11,000 damage to my team, and then I'm going to lose, and I'm going to hate this game, and so on and so on. It's like,
you get to do it, though. You get to then go do it.
Exactly,
You're like, this is the best!
Exactly. You're like, damn, I'm winning? What the hell?
So,
what the
that mentality sort of like switches things, and I hope people catch on to it and they help it. Everyone helps each other out, because getting the rewards is a lot of fun. But at the same time, if you miss out, like, don't sweat the small stuff, you know?
You miss out. Like, I'm gonna kick it to you. It ain't that deep, brother. There's a lot more things in the world happening right now that require a lot more attention than missing out on 20 gems, you know? But then on the contrary, for some people, 20 gems is a lot, which it is. 20 gems is you can do a lot with 20 gems in Treasure Cruise. So it is about finding that balance. And it's annoyingly, but also unsurprisingly, it does come down to your mental fortitude. Yeah. Because a gacha game promotes and incites the most toxic aspects of your brain, the gambling, the serotonin, the dopamine, the sad, like, it hits all those receptors in your brain to allow you to either enjoy or loathe the game that you're playing. And Treasure Cruise does a really good job at playing both sides of the coin a lot of the time. So it's a matter of being better about practicing how you hold yourself in that regard. And that might mean not pulling on every banner. That might mean saving gems. That might mean doing the discount here and there. That might mean accepting that you're not going to rank a certain rank or whatever the case may be. It's all about the mental capacity and the fortitude to do so.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's pretty much the game modes. But what do the game modes give nowadays? Like, PKA gives free-to-play characters. Treasure Map gives free-to-play characters. We get 6 pluses and we get 5 pluses every now and again. What are your thoughts on the quality of these particular characters? Because I think this is probably the last thing that we have to touch on.
I think that free-to-play characters are mostly irrelevant at this point. I don't think that they necessarily hold any value. I kind of look at a free-to-play character and they end up becoming like a beat stick for a team, or they're just an extra drop on a bit of content. And that's kind of upsetting because in the past, like, obviously because we had less throughput or output, I should say, of characters releasing, free-to-play units became more and more valuable. But now that we have 50 odd legends a year, which then includes maybe 100 to 150 rare recruits of various varieties a year, there's really very limited space for free-to-play characters to shine in any aspect. So, like, as much as I still do want them to be shown and be available, something needs to change where they become way more usable, if not desirable to be used in content itself.
I think the PKA characters are a perfect example of it. I think this one's meant to get like a 5+.
5+, yeah.
So they may be looking at actually like fixing that, but like Otama, Maha, the Roger, this particular unit, like they're just not good. Like they're just not good units.
Correct.
The treasure map characters, I've been a pretty big fan of the treasure map characters as of late. Stuff like the lead performers and what they do for Kaido. This particular Baccarat, Dice, and Mr. Tanaka unit are very, very good. They have a very, very good support. So I think it's a bit of give and take in terms of what they are doing with these particular free-to-play characters. I think free-to-play characters they're a must. Like this Gordon is really, really good. This PK Gordon, I think they're a must, but they do need to focus on them a little bit more. They're just usually hit or miss, and I want them to hit more often than not.
Yes.
Like this Yamato, the 5+ Yamato is just absolute dog water. However, an upside to free-to-play characters, especially these 5+, is they made them 20 cost in Rumble, which makes 8-man teams a lot more accessible.
Absolutely.
That's a big change I like.
Absolutely. I want to point out with that Beppo unit that people may not have seen, the Bluna Beppo and Sunny-kun unit, it requires a treasure map key to level limit break. So limit break expand.
Yeah, I just had that up actually.
Which is very interesting because what a weird choice. It's never needed a treasure map key. So maybe there's going to be this new system, which I think some people said in the comments of my tweet about it, was that maybe there's a new system where we're no longer going to get free to play treasure map units, but instead we're going to get PKA 6+ or 5+. I would hate that, but I wouldn't put it past them to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see. And I mean, this TM's gonna change a lot of things in terms of like how units work. But I mean, I agree. It's just like I don't have the answer to how to make free to play units hit more. Cause like you give them bigger numbers, does that really make them better? Like, not necessarily. So I don't really know what path do you go down to actually make them more desirable.
I think going down the path of like having them access different abilities like Super Tandem or Final Tap and Super EX, that's where you really want to hone in on some free-to-play characters.
The lead performers, Jesus Christ, what a character that is.
Yeah, see that
One
character.
of the best free-to-plays in the game.
Yeah, like that character's amazing, like an absolute monster of a unit.
Absolutely.
So if they keep doing stuff like that works alongside these crazy legends, it does soften the blow if you miss out on having them, because you can always run your hybrid options as free to play. And even in Super Boss, like the biggest damage team was using that lead performance unit.
Yeah, it was. Which
Like
is crazy.
there are that benefit there. I just want more free to play characters, whether they're good, whether they're bad. Like I just want more of them. I want them to hit more often than not, but look, at the end of the day,
there's more variety, because more free to play means more options for beginning players and middle game players to have boosted units, which means more drops, which means fast content, which the word of the day, more efficiency. That's what it is, right? At the end of the day. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I just think that like I haven't come up with a solution myself as to how you make them hit more, but we don't get paid to do that. So like,
absolutely.
It's very true. I mean, I don't think there's anything else. I guess like, unless you have something else you want to talk about.
No, that was we pretty much covered all bases. I'm pretty happy with everything. At the end of the day, the final question is like, how do you feel about the game?
Look, it's actually a really tough question to answer, because we've been in the mines for so long that it gets more and more heartbreaking at how detached the business, development, production, and then player base are from each other. And it makes me less enthusiastic to play the game every day. I think I find myself not wanting to like play, and then I'm not necessarily falling into FOMO, but there are parts of me where I'm like, oh damn, you know what, I maybe should go and max out my characters. I should go farm turtles, or so on and so on. And it's just like, am I making excuses to just play the game at this point? Should I quit? Like, so I think that financially the game's fine.
if anything, maybe global might be even struggling a little bit at the moment. I don't know the numbers, nor do I really care at the numbers per se. I just look at what we've seen from our entire vision. I think that JP's fine entirely. The Japanese audience, it's in their culture, so like it's not going to really change anything at all. I think that Treasure Cruise surprisingly has a long way, not surprisingly in that sense, has a long way to go to be better, but surprisingly, it has the room to improve. It hasn't capped itself out. There can still be a lot of quality of life items that can be added to the game to make it just that slightly bit better every time. And I just hope that these 13.1s and 13.2s and updates and so on get shortened to like 3-month batches where we get more and more updates throughout the year to continuously keep just improving the game. Otherwise, like, I think the game is on a good trajectory, but I do think there still is a lot to go, you know, to make the game as good as it potentially can be, which it never will be, but we can always hope that it just becomes better and better every day. What is it? 1% better every day, right? That's what we can hope for. But
Absolutely.
How about yourself? We're as a content creator, as someone who dedicates a lot of time and effort and finances, you know, monetarily wise to the game, how do you feel things are?
It's interesting because like I don't think it's in a bad spot.
Yes.
But that's coming from an endgame player perspective.
Yep.
I think for a newer player, it's really tough.
Yep.
It's really, really tough. And kind of getting through that initial hurdle and understanding you don't really need everything to sort of flourish. I can use like Mr. J as an example, like him pushing through like particular parts of the game and sort of grinding out all of the Coliseum stuff for like the gem profit and stuff like that. Is something that sort of has to be done, but at the same time, you're never really going to use those units because they're just it's content that's there. So as a newer player, if you are starting the game, obviously you want to join the mid to end game player as quickly as possible, but don't be disheartened if it's taking a little while. Play the game at your own pace. And if you end game players that are sitting here, they're just saying like, "Oh, this needs to be fixed, that needs to be fixed." Just remember that if you are complaining about something, try and have a constructive thought pattern.
Trust us.
Why
we could have ripped this game apart for the last 2 hours without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
I could have gone in on the semantics of business decisions and KPIs but like there's no value in that. So we've kind of Stump and I have kind of kept this conversation a bit more high level. We've still gone into the depths a little bit, I think, but you're 100% right. Like if you got problems with the game, don't just at the Treasure Cruise Twitter account and say your game is shit. Be like, your game is shit, and here's how I think you can improve it. A wise man once told me that the community is very good at coming up with problems, but not good at coming up with solutions. I disagree, because we are the people that play the game day in, day out. I think we're pretty good at coming up with solutions. Maybe sometimes the people that say, "Oh, we want 500 gems compensation," you shouldn't be listening to those ones. But for the ones that are like, "You should add this or try this," you know, that's the kind of criticism that you know, Stump and I are doing our best. More so him than me. I still have my moments where I lose my mind, but
that treasure map stream though.
But like, you know, I think that we do our best to be as constructive as possible, because at the end of the day, that's how people grow. You know, and people grow by telling them how they can improve, as opposed to telling them that you know, you're not going to tell someone that they're fat and they're going to, you know, lose weight, but you can support them in losing weight. You know, it's kind of that mentality.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, all in all, I think trying to cut back and move away from that FOMO, like I struggle with it. You guys saw the I Will Not Summon 9-day fiasco. But not summoning on every banner. Understanding that like you can still play this game in multitude of different ways, and I think OPTC has done that very well. As we spoke about, Grand Parties getting to 9 wins is very doable. The access to the new free-to-play characters, the free-to-play Straw Hats, is just incredible. Getting like your PP wins on the easier fights every day is always possible. Grinding out East Blue Treasure Map, the Suicide Strat, if you have the connections in Kizuna. I think Kizuna is probably the biggest problem for newer players, even mid-game players. But otherwise, I think that this game has done a pretty good job of making the game accessible if you are just starting.
Yep.
with a little bit of patience and a little bit of mental fortitude of not
Yep.
falling into the trap of I need to be able to go. I need to be at the top in the first week rather than taking your time through it and sort of trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Because I remember when I first started playing this game and I wasn't doing like watching videos or anything like that, and I was trying to figure it out along the way, and it can be pretty tricky. So
Absolutely.
hopefully these videos help. Hopefully you guys have some ideas too. Please let them be known in the comment section below. I'd be really curious to see what you guys said. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, we do appreciate the hell out of you. Just like I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you for having me. Like, look, man, I'm not like I always say, I'm not a quote unquote content creator. I'm not here to like, I'm a commentator. I love talking about this game. Like, and that's the one thing that keeps me going, right? At the end of the day, I love chatting Treasure Cruise. I love.
But he actually is. He's a content creator.
Okay, that's crazy. But like, I love chatting Treasure Cruise. I love talking about all the ins and outs. You know, you'll find me in Discord calls and on Twitter, and you know, always speaking my piece and stuff like that. But you know, it's always a privilege to be part of these videos and to, you know, have a bigger platform, I should say, to speak my truth. And if you know, as I said at the start, if you have any problems, leave them down below. I won't read them. Stump.
We'll tag him, so do not stress. But big love to you. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new. Make sure to go follow Pappy on Twitter because I know he would appreciate that more than checking out his YouTube channel.
Do I.
But yeah, big love to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Most importantly, though, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.
Peace.